What's up, guys? Uh, by somewhat popular demand on my Instagram, I put up a picture of my Evo TI-X with a single traditional, saying that I was going to put a double traditional in it, like my regular Evo TI, which has a double traditional pocket in it. Now, they want me to do. I had asked if people wanted me to do uh, kind of a simple double traditional tutorial. So that's what I'm doing. Double traditional tutorial. I already have the first traditional in there. Now this secondary traditional, this will also help you learn how to do a little bit of a single traditional on your own. So whether you're trying to do a regular traditional or a double, it's going to help you in both ways. So, two birds with one stone. Don't have to really do a regular traditional tutorial later on. So, already got my first traditional in there. It is a 3 to 4, since it's 1, 2, 3, and then the open space. I guess you could say it's a 4. So, it's 4 diamond traditional. I would recommend, for a double traditional, I would recommend no more than 5 diamonds. No more. No more than 5 diamonds, simply because it'll pretty much end up looking a lot crazier than my Evo TI's double traditional. So, for a double traditional in my TIX, I would recommend no more than 5. At least 3. 3 to 5 diamonds for a double traditional. Now, I started on this side at the top and ended on this side at the bottom. So you're going to switch it up and start at the opposite side, same end. So I started on this end, this side. We're going to start on this end on this side. Excuse me. First off, it's going to be 2 overhand knots. So an over and under and an over and under. So sidewalls right here, very top of the sidewall, through the sidewall string, we're going to be going under and over, going up. Now you want about to the 4th leather's length of string to come out. Then we're going to go over and under and up through the loop. Pull it from both ends to tighten it. Make sure this is nice and tight. And then I usually do a single or a double overhand, depending on the head. For this one, we're going to do a single once. So one single. And then you're going to pull that knot a little harder so that it's away from the sidewall knot that you did, which is the anchor. And then you're going to knot over top of it in order to make the knot thicker and wider, and just a whole lot harder to go through your sidewall anchor. Okay? Becomes a bigger knot and a whole lot easier to manage with if stuff starts coming loose later on down the road. And then make sure it's nice and tight and you have your anchor ready. Now, next step is going to be going into your first knot on the leathers. Now, with a double traditional, you have to go. It's kind of extra weaving over and under of the first traditional. So, to start off, we're going to start coming under that first piece of string. I'll show you in a sec once I pull it all the way through. See, it took from the knot, it's coming under this string right here. Okay? Then, next, we're going to go do an over and under and try and line it up with these right here. Okay? The very first top of over and unders. So, over and under. Pull it all the way through. Make sure it's even and nice and tight. Okay? Try and keep it as even as possible. All right. Next, you're gonna, because of this whole weaving idea, you're not gonna go under this string right here, okay? You're gonna go over, and then you're gonna try and line it up with the next series of knots. So over and under of the sidewall. Over and under of the sidewall, over top of this string right here. And then we're gonna do the same thing that we just did for the first one. We're gonna go under, we're gonna go under, then we're gonna do an over and under for the leather. Now when you're trying to match up, you really need to make sure that your first traditional is lined up itself too. Otherwise, your second traditional is just going to be all messed up. So, see, lines up for the most part. This one lines up, so we're good. Next, I'm going to go over top. Nice over and under. Make sure it lines up with the next series of knots and the leathers. See, lines up. Then we're going to go under the other traditional's cross lace towards the leathers again. Try and line it up with the other knots going across the leathers. Basically, you're trying to center it on the leather. So, there. Going over top again. Over and under of the sidewall. Remember, keep pushing your hand out to make sure that it's not pulling it too tight. Keep it stretched. Going under the first traditional's cross lace. And we're coming to the end of this segment where you go all the way down. Now next, I know I haven't really gone over these sort of knots, but I'm going to try and go through it with you in order so that you can do it. So, it's going to be kind of the same starting off. So, it's going to be going over and under the leathers, coming from the sidewall after you go under the cross lace earlier. I'll show you in a sec exactly what I mean. Not doing anything secretive or extra, just trying to get it lined up the way that I want it. So, then you're going to line up this next knot with the knots that are at the bottom of the leathers. So, it's an over and under first, and then you're going to do an over bring it out. It's going to be a little wacky. You'll see what I mean in a second. I'm pretty sure Gotya, or whatever his name is. I forget what his actual name is. I'm horrible with names. But I'm pretty sure he uses this type of knot at the bottom of his traditionals, and that's all he uses, I believe. So there's going to be this nice big loop here now. Okay? You're going to take your leading end and not going to go through this loop. You're going to kind of go over top of it and go up from the bottom of that first over-under of the knot. And you're going to pull it up through. Okay? Oh, I got a little tangled up around my shaft. Excuse me for a second. Okay. And I keep pulling it up through. Now as you're pulling it up through, you're going to want to get that first over and under to stay put where it was. Pull the others tight. And it's horrible for you guys to try and see that, isn't it? But then again, when it comes to knots, you really have to mess with them to get good at them. So it's not something I can just show you and then you be able to do right off the bat. So I'm sorry if you in your head are thinking, man, this guy sucks. Well, I'm not the greatest tutorial guy, but I'm trying to get the info out there for you. Okay, and it'll kind of look like that. And then this allows you to go up the opposite side of the leather in order to start weaving to the other leathers. Okay, so go from that. Next, basically you just keep going up the other side just like that, because then it ends up starting to look like this as it's weaving through. As you can see, it's like an over and under pattern for that one. Excuse me. Now for this next part, you're going to go under the cross lace. Tangled up around my shaft again. I'm only using the shaft for tutorial purposes. Otherwise, I don't usually have a shaft on the head when I'm stringing it. So, you've gone under that string. As you can see, I've gone under it. Now I'm going to go over and under the leather. Try and line up with the other knots. It's not pretty, but it'll work. And then you go over top of this next cross lace. And under. Make sure it's coming through nicely and tight. You don't have any extra string laying about. See how it starts to look like a crisscross? Okay. Next, go under your cross lace. Over and under the leather. Make sure you're lining up the knots with each other. Going over and under. See how it starts to make a bunch of extra X's And that's what creates the hold for the double traditional, and why I kind of like it, while still having the feel of a nice big diamond traditional. It has a bunch of extra added diamonds because of all the weaving, therefore creating more hold, and therefore kind of making it like 6 diamond type mesh. Okay, and you just keep going all the way to the top. Making sure that you're keeping all your knots in line as you go up. Now here's what I consider the fun part, because some people don't know how to do the tops of their traditionals. Okay? See the difference? Looks like regular traditional here, and then it just looks freaking crazy over here, right? Well, you'll thank yourself for doing it, because it looks even crazier, and 2, it feels awesome. So if you don't like it, just take out one of the traditionals, and then it's basically back to the way it was. Okay? So next, I like to use, sometimes I use the old school method, which you just go up and through the leathers, which is perfectly fine, and you can just do that. Me, I like to kind of make it a little more secure so that it doesn't shift or come undone, and so I do kind of a rocket pocket. I'm kind of influenced by Rocket Pocket a lot, because most of their knots and stuff are really effective. So first, you're going to go under this cross lace that's right here, and then you're going to come from the back to the front through that top hole. Get it nice and all the way through. Now you want to try and get it so that it's right next to the leather, so it's flush with the leather. Then you're going to come from the side of the cross lace, pull it all the way through, back to the front, okay, it's going to look like that, and then you're going to put it back through the top string hole where the leather is, pull it all the way through, keep your hand kind of in the way so it doesn't all go through, and then you're going to create this nice little loop. You're going to take your leading end and put it through that little loop, okay, and then once that leading end's through the loop, pull the loop somewhat tight, try and get the string down next to the leather again on this side as well, and then pull through just nice and tight. And if you have to, just work it until that string pops down, and it looks like that. And then you just keep going down this side, up and again. Make sure you guys line up your knots, otherwise the diamonds aren't going to turn out right. They're going to be bad distance, and it won't look like this. It'll just look like a hot bag of ass. So that's my quick 20-minute long tutorial on just how to do a double traditional. Hopefully you guys learned a little something from it. Hopefully you use it, and if you do use it, make sure you shout out to me or something like that. So peace out, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. Keep playing lacrosse, guys.